A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear students, welcome to you all in the virtual learning system, Pakistan International School, Taif. Dear students, we are going to continue chapter number 3. This is grade 12, subject Pakistan culture in lieu of Urdu. Chapter number 3, architecture and historical monuments. In this chapter today we will discuss about Talpur and Kalhora dynasties, and also we will discuss about the Khyber Pass. And this is lecture number 12, and I am your subject teacher Muhammad Yunus. Dear students, towns of Kalhora and Talpur rulers, Hyderabad. First of all, you must know what is meant by Kalhora and the Talpur. Kalhora and Talpur were two tribes, and they have their own dynasty. Kalhora came after the Mughal king, and he stayed on the ruling seat from 1700 to 1701 to 1783. On that time, the area covered by this dynasty was from some parts of Sindh and some part of Punjab. Or another way you can say from Karachi to Multan. The capital was Khudabad, and after that the capital was shifted to Hyderabad. So it is known as here also the rulers of the Hyderabad. First of all, we will study about the Kalhora dynasty. They came in power after the Mughal king. After the decline of Mughal, Sindh came under the control of two successive dynasties of the origin, the Kalhoras and the Talpur. In first, Kalhora came in power, and after 1783, Talpur tribes. When you keep in mind, these are the tribes of Baloch in Sindh. Early in the reign of Kalhoras, the seat of government was transferred from Thatta to Khudabad. Thatta is also a place in Sindh, now a small village in Dadu district of Sindh. So we can say it is also a small town near the district Dadu, or yeah, in the vicinity of district Dadu. Dear students, Yar Muhammad Khan, the Kalhora chief, built a Jame mosque there, and it means he was the first ruler of the Kalhora tribe. On each side of the mosque entrance, in a representation of lily type plant created in the most realistic and unconventional manner in the tile work. In AD 1768, the capital was shifted to Hyderabad by Mian Ghulam Shah Kalhora. He was another ruler. Our aim not to, you can say, study the history of these two tribes, but we have the aim in this chapter. We will study about the architectures of the tombs of these two families, or the two, you can say, dynasties, because on that time architecture was a, you can say, very important place in the construction of the buildings. So the monument of this period at Hyderabad includes tomb of Ghulam Shah Kalhora. Yani here in this monument, all the, you can, mostly all the family members are buried here. Ghulam Nabi, and Sarfraz Khan Kolhora. Ghulam Shah's tomb, placed on a large platform, is a massive square building originally topped by a dome which collapsed in 1890, damaging the tombstone and its fine railing. These were, tombs were constructed and the buildings were constructed also with the shape of the dome on the top. Dear student, externally the tomb chambers were originally covered with glazed tile. Glazed tiles mean decorated tile having the pattern of the different things and also having the shinies. So these are very beautiful tile, traces of which still remains there. A noteworthy feature of this tomb is surface tracery on the corner stone. Surface tracery means the architecture work is done too much here on the tomb. So this is the tomb of for the you can say Maqbara Ghulam Shah Kolhoro. You can see it is the example of fine architecture of the Muslims. And the tile work, the work is done with the glazed tile also. Dear students, in AD 1783, the Kalhoras were overthrown by Mir Fateh Ali Khan, Talpur. Then Mir Fateh Ali Khan was the head of the Talpur family. He came in power after the Kulhora, who founded the Talpur dynasty. His descendants ruled Sindh till the British occupation in 1843. There are two enclosures at Hyderabad containing the tombs of Talpur family. The Hyderabad fort, also a monument of this period, is now in ruins except a small portion of defensive wall and the rim portion of the meads. And this way, it is destroyed now, not in the you can say a proper shape, because there was no look after, and there are the nowadays the ruins are present there. Dear students, the Talpo tombs also show glazed tiles, but they mark a decadent phase. Decadent phase, it means not a good period of the art. Several new colors such as green, yellow, and brown were introduced, but the use of these additional colors resulted in strange color combinations. The total effect, therefore, is rather unimpressive and marks the end of glorious chapter of the architectural history of Sindh. Due to unexpert people, the architecture skill, the architecture's history of Sindh, you can say the finished. Dear students, this is the tomb of Talpur Mirs, and they were known also the Mirs, or the you can say the Rais, or the you can say the king of that time of his dynasty. You can see here the tile work here, and also on the time too much tile work is done. So it is also the example of fine architecture of that time. Dear students, the next topic is the Khyber Pass. Khyber Pass is a path, is a way, is a road which connect Pakistan to Afghanistan. Here is the you can say see the different angles of the gate of Khyber. Babe Khyber we can say also, because this is situated on the borderline between Afghanistan and Pakistan. The caravans and the people go through this pass to Afghanistan, and you can see there are the other sceneries. These are also the path which is going through the mountainous areas. Dear students, Khyber Pass is one of the many passes that connect Pakistan with Afghanistan through the northwestern hill. The origin of the name still lies in obscurity. It means unimportant, having no importance. Its namesake in Arabia was a well-known place early in the history of Islam. Dear students, strictly speaking, the term Khyber Pass applied to the narrow defile between Landi Kotal and Beghiari. These are two areas. Landi Kotal is also a town in KPK near Turkham. To the north of it stand the lofty peaks of the Rohtas and Tartara mountains, stretches like a chain towards Landi Kotal. And Landi Kotal, we can say, a shortcut, you can say, in Pashto language. Dear students, here you can say a zigzag road. This is actual the pass. This type of the road which is going, and that is also narrow and is going from the mountainous areas to this type of the path is known as the pass. Dear students, on the south, the pass is bounded broken bridges at places rising to great height. Beyond Ali Masjid, a lofty mountain called Alacha Gar or the Aspugar separates the pass from the Bazar Valley. And these two parts of the mountain series, either you can say are the big, and they separate Bazar Valley and the Ali Masjid. Dear student, from Landi Kotal on to the west, the road falls rapidly in a zigzag way to Landi Khana. Landi Khana is also a place. It reaches the Turkham. Turkham is also a border area with Afghanistan, and continuing further emerge on the plain on the right bank of the river Kabul. The area thus marked comprises several valleys which are presently inhabited by Afghan tribes such as Afridis, Shanwaris, Mullaghoris, El Shalmanis. These are the tribes of Afghan. Dear students, in a broad sense, however, the pass on Pakistan side begins at Jamrud and extend to Turkham. And Turkham is also a border area with Afghanistan. A monumental gateway erected in 1964. The Khyber door, the Khyber gate was you can say constructed in 1964, marks the starting point. On one side of this gateway is the historic fort where Hari Singh Nalwa lost his life. Hari Singh Nalwa was the chief of Sikh army. A little onward, a dry stream breaks through the hills and opens the pass. The mountains then gradually close in, and after a short distance, the pass narrows down to about 130 meter, 37 meter, about 8 to 9 kilometer from Jamrud. Ali Masjid is reached, and here the width is 13 meter. Only the mountains on either side rising 304 meter to 396 meter. from the floor of the pass. The pass rises to about 517 meters at the summit at Landi Kothal. Dear students, on way to Ali Masjid, we pass Shagai Fort, built in British time, defend the narrowest point of the pass. Water also available here. It is near this water source that the Buddhists in ancient time built stupa, now no longer traceable. The place is traditionally associated with the name of Hazrat Ali of revered memory. Down in the valley, there is a modern mosque. Dear students, in the narrow gorge below is an upright standing rock with the impression of human hand. Just before reaching Landikotal, we see from a distance an other Buddhist monument, Sofula Stupa, standing on top of a hillock opposite to the modern village of Zarai. The stupa is much spoiled now, and the monastic area to its north has all been dug up by treasure hunters. To these students, these things are now looked after, so they are very old, and slowly, their you can say existence is going to finish. Dear students, in spite of many fantastic stories associated with the Khyber, a cold analysis of history shows that it was comparatively less frequently used in the ancient past. The pass is neither mentioned in Sanskrit literature nor by any Chinese pilgrims known to have journeyed through it. No remains of the Persians and the Greeks have so far been found. The Aryans' migration through this pass has not been attested. The real history of this pass, no one knows when it was started, but the importance of Khyber Pass from the time when the city of Kabul became a deciding factor in the onward march of invaders from Central Asia toward the Indo-Gangetic plains. It assumed some importance in the medieval time under the rule of Turk Shahis and then the Hindu Shahis, whose territories lay on both sides of the pass. Because this pass, you can say, was covered with these two, you can say, the tribes, or the you can say the religions, that's Hindus and the Sikhs. But in the succeeding centuries, Kabul was surpassed by Ghazna, which became the chief town of whole area. Dear students, from Ghazna, the nature route to the Indus Plain was along the Kurum and Tochi River. It was only in the time of Mirza Abu Sa'id of the Murud family that Kabul once again importance. When Babur finally occupied Afghanistan, he investigated into the routes that led towards India and was therefore most likely to have crossed the Khyber Pass. His grandson Akbar therefore got the road through the pass built for the first time by his engineer Qasim Khan in AD 1586. After the Mughal period, the Sikhs tried lost to close the Khyber Pass by building a fort at Jamrud in 1836, but they lost their famous general Hari Singh Nalwa in the Battle of Jamrud in 1837. Shortly afterwards, Burj Hari Singh was built at a place near the site of present Islamia College. During the early British period, there was an aerial rope to help cross the high cliff. Later, Pakka motorable road was constructed. Pakka means it means metalled. In 1925, railway was opened that ran through several tunnels right up to the Landi Kotal. Dear students, this was the end of the topic for today lecture. Here is homework. You will write the question answer on your notebook. What is the importance of Khyber Pass? Question number 2. What is the length of Khyber Pass? Who did build this pass? Number 3. Who did found the Talpur dynasty? Number 4. Write about Ghulam Shah Kulhora. And question number 5. What is meant by Landi Kotal? Where is it located? Dear students, thank you to watch the video for today's lecture. Good luck in your coming exam.